Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Robinson here again. We're going to continue our series of the Teacher Time Show. Got a good one today because I hear report cards are coming up. So, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So that was by Benjamin Franklin, the $100 bill guy. And that's a very, very true saying. I wish I would have used that in that other video on instruction. Maybe I'll pull it out. So our agenda today is parental contact. I did make a video on that before, but now that we're getting close to the report cards being distributed, we really need to go in a little bit deeper. So let's get going. So I'm going to first start talking about introduction of the parental contact. Then I'll get into the data part of the show where we're talking about progress reports. So I see the teacher's ultimate weapon against the student in the right corner there, holding an iPhone, I think. So here's a strategy you may want to use. Calling parents on Fridays. That was one of my favorite things to do. Why? Because it usually caught the student off guard because they figure they're going to have a good weekend and do whatever they feel like doing except homework. And if I've given them a progress report, then they thought they would be off the hook because I wouldn't be looking for it till Monday. But I surprised them. I told them, make sure you give your progress report to your parents because you never know when I may call and talk about it. So Friday, great day, because I've heard many parents tell their child, come back here, you're not going out, you're not going to the party because we have a problem that needs to be solved between you and Mr. Robinson. So that's why I give my progress reports out on Thursday and Friday, because the kids got smart and realized that if they were absent from school on Fridays, they couldn't get the progress report till Monday when they came back. That's the reason why I gave them out Thursday and Friday. And you should always give out 2 copies, 1 copy for the parent and 1 copy for your records. So that's why I give out progress reports, because it keeps me out of trouble when the report card time is coming. And we'll be dealing with that shortly. So call on Friday or before they get to their homes. There are some students who want to beat me to the parents, and they will say, oh no, this is not true, Dr. Rob is lying about such and such, and then the parent would most likely get on their side because they're not speaking to me yet. And when I finally call, and it's hopefully before the student gets home, they'll walk right into a conversation between their parent and me. And it gets very interesting, I will say that. So call on Fridays or before the students get home. And if you do have a serious crisis in your classroom going on, I recommend you call immediately and get it out of your way, so that way you can explain what's going on and what you don't like as far as behavior or instruction. Okay, parental contact. We're going to talk a little bit more about my introduction. I'll be talking about Google Classroom, how it plays a part of what we do. Our district, Peekskill City School District, requires us, at least at the middle school, and I believe the high school, they require us to have a Google site and put information on there that will help the parents about your class. So here's my picture of my page, and I want to just highlight one thing there. In yellow it says a YouTube channel, Dan Robinson PKMS. I have my own YouTube channel where I keep a lot of information that will help out kids and parents so they can know what's going on in my classroom. And there it is down here on the bottom. But next to it is something I really want to go into just a little bit. I did have this letter. It's my parental responsibilities letter. So what the parents should be doing and what they should know. So this letter I include in my packet because I need their help. I cannot train their child into what I'm trying to get them to do in mathematics without their help and cooperation. So I ask the parents, please inspect your child's notebook for classwork to see that they're writing down. I do check it as well, but I need the parents to check so they can see, maybe ask a few questions. What's going on? What did you learn today? Can you explain something to me and teach it to me? So I need parents' cooperation, and when we work together, we'll find out the kids will be fine. My means of communication, I send each month a progress report on what's going on in the class, and I can send the email to the parent or the student, and I also send a copy to the counselor. And the counselor said, oh, thank you so much for keeping me in the loop, because it lets me know who are my heavy hitters. So it's good to reach out to many people as you can. I used to send them to the assistant principal when there was some real heavy hitters, and he would keep those people in mind and look for them like during lunchtime and speak with them. So, the communication with the parent is very important, and they're your first line of defense, and should be the last line of defense, because if the parent can't stop what their children are doing, then hey, we have a hard job ahead of us. I also call as many parents as possible, and I don't call only for bad comments, but I try to make sure if I'm gonna call 3 parents, one of them has got to be a good conversation for excellent work. So that's what I've done in my Google Classroom. I've set up videotapes of my lessons. I record the lessons while we are doing it, and at the end of the period or end of the day, I load them to Google Classroom in a folder or a section called Classroom Video, so that way the child can find out what we did in class. If they wanted to go over it or if they were absent, they will be able to see what we did. So that's my introduction so far. So call on Fridays or before they get home is very important, because the kids unfortunately will lie on you as their teacher and make it seem like it's the teacher's fault, and hey, that's something you're gonna have to deal with. And I will say this, we're coming up to report card time. If you haven't already passed it, if you have not reached out to your parent of those kids who are giving you a hard time, you're gonna have trouble. So make sure you reach out to them in plenty of time before the report cards come out. So now I'm going to go into the data and progress report. So here is my data sheet. It's a spreadsheet of names, and they're comment. I don't believe in writing everything out. I use a comment code. For example, here I see Regina on top, got a check plus, which lets me know she's doing excellent in the classwork, and I noted that, and I sent the progress report. The PR's progress report. The S15 up there means I sent the progress report to the whole class on that day. I don't write them down here. I just write it up here one time so I can know that they did get a progress report. And I sent her a separate progress report about her good work. Now I see Stephanie has a T9-8, September 8th, and there's a T down there for Kimberlyn. and that lets me know they were talking together. So if anybody wants to say I wasn't talking, and I say, oh yeah, you were talking to Kimberlyn, and I noted it down because I am not a screamer, so I'm not going to be yelling and screaming at the kids. I just write it down. I tell them I am a writer, not a screamer. So those are my codes, and matching to it, I may send a progress report home. Sometimes I give a warning. Sometimes I go straight for it. So I try to make sure the parents are notified as quickly as possible so we can stop that negative behavior and have a good semester. PB, poor behavior. So Dr. Rob did something badly little Dr. Rob did something bad on September 8th, and I can go into it if I wanted to, because if I took time to write down something on as poor behavior, then something was going on that day that I'm sure I'll remember, because I'll write a progress report and put a little note to it about the behavior. So this is my sheet of information. So that way I could write my progress reports and letters to the parents, like here's one, an excellent letter to the parent, and offering a video tutorial for their child because they're doing a great pace and good work, and I want to help them out as much as possible, and that way in turn it helps me with the video that I created. Hopefully they'll watch it and add to the conversation when they get to class. All right, report card time. Comments. First one you should be looking at is late homework. I don't accept late homework because as soon as the next day it's due, we go over it. So that's why I don't accept late homework, because they just copy off of what we did. And I'm like, nope, sorry, I don't accept it. So please don't be late. The code here for MOTE, there is a program called MOTE, which translates your saying or speaking into the microphone of your message into a link where they can hear your voice, and it even writes out what you said. So I don't have to write this stuff out. I just go to MOTE, and MOTE does it for me. So if you haven't tried MOTE, give it a shot. It's a very good program. So missing homework, that happens every now and then. I write a little note about that, and there's the MOTE, which enforces it through my voice. I have comments about tests, poor test grades, and I offer extra help. And what is this? I would like you to do better than this. All right. So I send the MOTE comments out to the parents as well as the students. So and like I said, it's a good program, very helpful, especially even if you're using talking to Spanish parents as well. So if you haven't tried MOTE, give it a try. I believe it's free for like a first month or so. So check it out. Excessive talking, I have that there. So that's some of the comments that I use. And what's nice is if you're allowed to use your own comments and not the canned comments, you can pretty much write what you need to write in there. So I like that feature of Infinite Campus. Here's a warning letter. I want you to notice as we go down the ending towards the quarter, we're approaching it, I try to tell them way ahead of time and remind them, check out Infinite Campus so you can see the details of what's going on. I try to encourage the kids and the parents to get them to make a stronger effort before the quarter finishes. Here's my missing homework letter. So I send that, and I try to get them to do their homework before it's too late, and they end up failing. So it's a matter of talking to their children to get them to do their homework. I had some students who haven't done any homework, and I don't write progress reports every day, but I try to get to the kids who are not doing any homework, because I'm targeting the ones who are not doing what they need to do, who are definitely failing everything, and I want to see if I can get them to turn it around. So I have YouTube videos of the work. My channel name is Dan Robinson, PKMS, Peekskill Middle School. So, and I even offer after-school tutoring. I don't mind staying after school because we don't get out to 3 o'clock. And I tell them, come to my room at 2:33, and I'll let you out at 3 o'clock. And that way you can get the needed help. And I let them know they're always welcome to attend. I mentioned a little earlier that I do record the class videos, so I have the topic, the date of whatever we did, so and you should be able to play it. I would play one for you, but don't have that kind of time right now. But they're listed, what period I recorded, and it should also have the topic, so that way they don't have to figure out which date. They can look. So sorry. So sorry. And here is my codes of some of the things that I've noticed as the time went on. I noticed how it starts filling up. Different ones do different things. Like here's a Z. Somebody's been catching some sleep. It was at Deverly on the 15th of September, so I'm sure she was tired or something, but I didn't write a comment. I did write a comment. As a progress report I sent to everybody on September 15th, so I'm sure that Z I included in there too. And there's Stephanie still doing some talking, so I did, and I noticed she hasn't done any of her homework. And A means I called her house and there was no answer on the 9th, so that's information and data that I could use when I go into a meeting with the parent or with the counselor. So there's little Dr. Rob. Now I notice he's talking on the September 15th. He was L. L stands for late. On the 20th of September, I sent the progress report, the things I'd done. I called his mother, and she was very good in responding to my request. So I gave her a check plus as far as the rating I felt. And I sent the progress report on the 9th. I called her on the 9th, so it's important that make sure that you have the date that you spoke with the parent. So that way the parent may question when's the last time we spoke, and they say, oh, I have it written down right here, let me check. Here's a notice about his homework missing. So I have all this data that I'm using to build up the report. And again, I don't wait till 1 week or 1 day before the quarter ends. I let the parents know we're approaching the end of the quarter, and unfortunately your child has failed the class, and hopefully they'll make a stronger effort in the next quarter. So one thing about the progress reports, I would recommend you give them out at the end of the class, because some of the people like little Dr. Rob get aggravated and will act out because they're miserable about themselves, and they take it out on the teacher who's just trying to do their job. So this is what the progress report looks like. I'll break it down into smaller pieces so we can see it a little clearer. I have my teacher's comments here. Tell them to review the report, discuss it with the child, and bring it back signed the next day of school. So it has their attendance there, and it has down here about term 2 progress report. Here are the comments that I wrote down for them. They're in English and Spanish. Here's the report card grade. Okay, so report card grade, his average is 44.01, and he would get a 44. But we're not allowed to go that low. 50, I believe, or 55. Assessment exams, that's 45% of the grade, and he got 53% out of the tests he's been taking. Class, homework, project, behavior, all that weights 55% of the grade. He only got a 36.66% out of that. So when you average that up, it comes up to a grade of 44. Here's some more interesting information on the progress report that shows up about quarter 2 report card grade. I have given a formative assessment, units 1 and 2, and it's an open book exam. So if he's been copying his notes, he should get total possible points 100, but he doesn't do anything, so he ended up getting a 10. Here's a quiz, got a 20 on that. Here's a multiplication assignment from the textbook, he got 100 on that. Here's an impossible to fail quiz that I gave, so everybody should get 100, he got 85. So that was good, but here's the impossible to fail quiz again with a group test on rational numbers, he got a 50. So I guess he didn't work too well with his group members. Here's a project number 1 on unit 2, percentages, he didn't do it, got a 0. Classwork, group work, homework, overall he's got a 70. So he should get over 100 in the group work, but he's not working too good. So winter project, he got a 40 out of that. So poor little Dr. Rob is not doing too well. So that's the data and progress report information that'll go on to the report card, and I give that out to the parents. And unfortunately, poor little Dr. Rob is not doing too well, but I think if we continue to encourage him to come to after school tutoring, he should do well. I have my YouTube videos, and my channel name is Dan Robinson, PKMS, Peekskill Middle School. I have other videos that he could study. He could also look into Google Classroom and study those videos that we have in there of the classwork. So doing everything I can to try to get little Dr. Rob to pass. So that's pretty much it on the report card. So I'm not going to say any more because I'm coming down to the final minutes, and it was a lot. But you as a teacher, you got to reach out to those parents on report card day, because if you have not reached out to the parent and they get blindsided by getting a low grade for their child in your class, and you have never contacted them with all that negative behavior, you will have a difficult meeting with that parent. So my suggestion is, please reach out to the parent, because if you can gain their trust and get them on your side, because when they see you're trying to help them and you're calling their homes, and sometimes I'll even call on a Saturday on the weekend. And I've even had a parent to tell me, said, "You're the first teacher I ever known to call on the weekend." I said, "Hey, I'm trying to get your kid to pass, so I don't mind calling on the weekends. I just make a few calls, but it's important to reach out to you, Mr. Robinson, because your little boy, little Dr. Rob, is not doing too well." So I gotta stop, so I'm coming down to the end. So report card times are here, so get your data ready to be ready for the parent-teachers conference, because they're coming up also. And if you're the teacher that hasn't been contacting parents all along and keeping them in the loop for their kids, you're going to be in for a rough evening. So check out my other videos. It's now on video. PKMS Math Prep 16, that's a cute one. 2016 we made that. So check it out. Subscribe to our channel. My channel name is Dan Robinson, PKMS. So give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing. You can even write a comment. So hopefully it's a good comment that letting me know that this stuff is helping. So give us a thumbs up, and I'll be glad to write you back as well. You can tweet me or text me at drobmath1. Don't forget to watch our show Math Time on Tuesdays, 4:30 p.m. on the same channels as you're watching Teacher Time. And Teacher Time comes on 6 p.m. through 6:30 p.m. in Peekskill and Ossining, Channel 15, in Yorktown, Channel 74, and in New Rochelle, Channel 76. And up there in Spanish, al mismo. It's the same channels. So Math Time, 4:30. So if you would like more information on this topic, because I have a whole lot more letters that I send out to parents, let me know at robinsonmath@aol.com. So write me. Okay, so I got to wrap it up here. So that was my Teacher Time show, a very, very important lesson about report cards and parental contact. Believe me, if you do your parental contact like I'm showing you, you will have the easiest year that you've ever seen for the second, third, fourth quarter, because you did all the work in the first quarter, and they'll know what to expect out of you, and guaranteed you will have a great time getting your kids to make a movie like we do. So that's it for me, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the movie. This is Dr. Rob signing off. Bye-bye.